Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel. My name is Nikita Antoine, and today we will be doing a reading for you. I am offering personal readings, so you can find all of that information in the description box. And as always, all of my readings are timeless, so whenever it finds you and resonates, then it's yours at the time at which you find it. Alright, so I'm doing your reading with Threads of Fate, Weaver Tarot, and Oracle deck, the Lumen, and the Shadow Edition. So you'll be seeing all four of those in your spread today. At the bottom of the deck, we have Shadow. Okay, so this is telling me that there is something, quite literally, in your shadow, that your shadow wants to be expressed. Hang on, let me open this. Let me see if this helps the lighting. It does not. Okay, well, whatever. All right. That's interesting because the light gets rid of the shadows. Or can sometimes amplify. I don't know. That's a tangent. All right, so this is talking about your shadow wanting to communicate, especially with the bat energy. It's wanting to communicate something. I was gonna say well, I guess it would be in your subconscious, but like telepathically to you. And then on the split, we have the Seven of Swords. And this talks about, okay, so we're speaking about something in your shadow is trapped, because the Seven of Swords often comes through as, if you've ever seen the Dark Crystal, it comes through as this Skeksis castle. And in the castle is where they keep the crystal. Yeah, so there's something in the shadow, some type that's been coming up a lot lately, is that there's a treasure that is being sought after. All right, so, and it's in your shadow. So that says to me that it's in your subconscious. It's something that you can't bring into your conscious, but it's making itself known through like times when you're in the dark. So I want to say like perhaps in your dream state, anytime that your subconscious is able to communicate to you, that is what it's trying to deliver this message of something that is trapped in the shadow. Okay, so let's get a Wild Mystic card for Aquarius for their overall energy for Aquarius. There we go. One sec. All right, we have Sacred. Oh, okay. This is coming up as the treasure that you're looking for. There's a lot of sacred geometry in this card here. And I'm now thinking about how, like, if you are to, like, because starfish have a regenerative quality. So anytime that like their little limbs get cut off, they grow back. So there's something about this treasure that even if, okay, so I want to say because it is in your shadow, there might be some aspects about this treasure that you don't particularly like. And anytime there's an effort to kind of cut it away, because you can't cut away your shadow. You have to integrate, right? So anytime there is an attempt to cut away whatever this shadow is, the shadow aspect, it regenerates and it grows back. Is what's coming through with that. Okay, so we are starting your reading off with the Hermit. And feel as though this is you in kind of like a secluding yourself, being, you know, in by yourself. It's not lonely, it's just, it's really, it's almost like this, like wanting to like recharge, rejuvenate yourself in this energy, the Hermit energy. So that talks about kind of not getting rid of, but like putting a boundary between you and other people so that you can go into this hermit state and regenerate yourself. And what I'm seeing, okay. So what I'm seeing is that when you go into this state, it's kind of like when you're by yourself, this shadow energy starts to communicate to you. Because what I was seeing was, it's like you're alone, of course, but then there's all of these little, they look like little imps, or like, I guess it would be like nature spirits, like little imps or little goblins, or at least you're perceiving them that way. They're coming to you. They're being, and I want to say that they're actually being sent from somewhere else, because there's a trail that recedes into this background, and it's as if you're standing in this foreground, and this lantern is being brought to you by another source. It's coming from somewhere else. Except for what's being brought to you is not actually like, it's not the lantern itself. It's like a, this is so interesting. It's almost, it's kind of like an illusion, but it's like an image, or like a faint, it's being, how do I explain this? It's like, it's kind of like, it's like seeing something out of the corner of your eye type of thing. You're seeing it, but it's not actually there. It's kind of like, it's something, it's going to, what its intended purpose to do is to have you follow it. It's like, you've seen those movies. I can't remember what these movies are called. They're like, I know there's one movie, it's an anime, but there's like, it's like a glowing orb or something that is glowing in the forest, and it appears, and then it moves into another space in the forest, and it's enticing you. It's trying to entice you to follow it, is what it is. And what I find most fascinating is that within this lantern is the star energy, which points to me, because Aquarius is the star. So it makes me wonder if this aspect of you, okay, this makes sense, is actually a part of you. And this makes sense because if it is something that is in your shadow, it would be something that is a part of you. So I'm seeing you. This is with the 8 of Cups that's following. I'm seeing it's like you're following. It's enticing you to follow it. It's enticing you to set everything else down and move in a direction that, okay, so because in order to get to the 9 of Cups, this is the 8 of Cups, but in order to get to the 9 of Cups, you have to pass through this 8 of Cups energy, and which talks about, both of these actually cards talk about seclusion. So you're setting everything else aside, maybe even like your relationships, the things it's kind of like you're wiping your calendar a little bit, and you're setting that aside so that you can follow whatever this is. It's just so that you can follow it, so that you can see where it's leading to, because there's something that is incredibly enticing, and it's kind of like it's lighting you up. I mean, it's the perfect lure essentially for you. And I'm seeing with the Three of Coins that, okay, we're back. All right. My phone was full of videos, so I had to go and delete, which is kind of like what this Eight of Cups is talking about, like deleting a bunch of stuff so that I could create something new. All right, so that's really interesting. All right, so with the Three of Coins, it's following the Eight of Cups. This card here talks about having the direction, or at least it's like co-collaboration with spirit, because I see this triangle in the center as like a planchette, which is like what you use for a Ouija board. It talks about collaborating with spirit so that you can know the correct way to go. And almost as if like I'm seeing with the thing in the background as like a cartographer's way to map out distance. It's like with this card being in the shadow, it's talking about how you're following, even though you don't know where it's taking you. You don't know where it's taking you. You don't know exactly how far away this is going to be. And you are, in a sense, you're relying on, well, the only sense that you have, which is your, I was going to say telepathic, because for some reason the bat always talks to me about telepathy. I think it's because they send out like signals in the dark, which is what this is. There's some type of signaling that is happening in the dark that is either one, it's definitely enticing you to follow it, but then two, it's also kind of showing you the direction in which to go. But because it is in the dark, it's almost like you can only see a few steps, or maybe even just like one step in front of you. So that's what this is talking about. And then your energy of your journey, following this light, it's almost like you're following your own light, is being, so it's being surrounded by both these energies. So let me show you how it's presented on the table. So the energy of you following your light is being surrounded by the lantern and this Sovereign of Coins. And this Sovereign of Coins is, you know what? I feel like this, I don't think that's you. It doesn't feel like you. It feels like this, the Sovereign of Coins, is the energy that is sending you that light, that enticing thing that's going to get you to, I wanted to say coming out of your comfort zone, because the Sovereign of Coins, what she does is she creates like a home base. She creates comfort and is that space where you can kind of like take okay. You can take everything off and be in your most comfortable being, really, is what it's talking about. And it's almost as if in order to get to her, or whatever this energy is that's sending you the light, which now I'm wondering, because if it's your light and it's being sent up by your shadow, then that means that this is actually a part of you. So this could be representative of like your higher self. And that is what is bringing you the light and enticing you to kind of actually go out of your comfort zone in order to obtain it. All right, so so that's the first row. On the second row, we're starting off with the void. And the void, okay, the void talks about, with this shape here, to me, this kind of feels like it's the not knowing which way to go. It's like going up and it's like, okay, we've got a plan, we've got a trajectory, we're just gonna go straight, right? So, but when you go straight, you hit a wall. It's almost like in every direction that you go, you're hitting a wall. Almost like it's like you're exhausting all pathways forward. You're trying to get, because it's coming below the lantern. So you're trying to get to this lantern. That's wildly interesting because now it looks like this is the lantern. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if it was like a top-down view of it. But you know what? That light is not in there. It's not. That's what I was talking about before. It's like you're being presented with this lantern. But it's not actually there is what it's talking about. It's not actually there. That light is not actually inside of there. And this is coming across as like as the comfort zone. It's like you're trying to find that light, your light, within your own comfort zone. And it's not there, is what it's talking about. And then with the 5 of Wands that's following afterwards, it's speaking about how this is talking about the frustration that you're feeling as you're exhausting all of the known avenues. And this is speaking about, especially with the Void card, is that this is kind of like an unknown. You have to take an unknown path. You have to take something that is absolutely outside of your comfort zone in order to get to that light, to get to the thing that you're seeking. And this is taking me back to here. This is a very similar shape, except for it's actually upside down. So what is that signifying? There's something here. Hang on. I'm wanting to say that what this is, so that star energy, the light, this is that light, that treasure that you're looking for. You're seeing it as something that is not beneficial, because it's like you're seeing it in an upside down perspective. You're not seeing it for what it truly is. It could actually be something that, because this card kind of looks, it matches this energy really well. The Skeksis Tower. It could be something that is a little like frightening for you, especially if it's in the dark. Some gift or skill that you have is it could be a little frightening for you. something that you're not wanting to integrate within yourself. You're wanting to like cut it out. You're wishing that, because the star talks about wishes too, wishing that it's something that you could just kind of like get rid of. But the interesting thing is that it's also the thing that you're looking for. You're looking for that spark within yourself, but then also wishing for that same thing. I think that you're not understanding that they're both one and the same. Yeah, they're both the same. Whatever the thing that you are, because it's kind of like the shadow. Like the shadow is a part of you, even though you might want to, there are some things in the shadow that aren't very pleasant, but there's so much stuff in the shadow, like untapped potential, untapped gifts, treasures, all of those things that are in the shadow. And it's kind of like you can't not, when you integrate it, you integrate the whole thing. There's no like picking and choosing type of idea. So the thing that you are looking for is not in your comfort zone. And what that's talking about is you're going to have to, in order to find it, you are going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. And then, so these last couple cards here are, okay, so let's just start. The Three of Cups. So we have the Three of Cups coming in. And recently, this particular Three of Cups has been talking about viewing something that has kind of like an obstruction over the front of it. It's okay, so it's kind of like this energy here. There's something that you're trying to see, this Three of Cups, but it's being obstructed by this, I'm trying to think about what the opposite of open-mindedness. It's like a close, because I see these points, it's closing the sight. So it's like closing, trying to limit your sight, when actually what you're meant to be doing is seeing beyond whatever that obstruction is. That obstruction being perhaps the walls of your comfort zone. And because I see this as, so there's a space in our sky, like where the Milky Way is, that even our telescopes can't see beyond that point because it's obstructed by the actual like spirals of our Milky Way galaxy. And so that's what that's talking about. It's talking about how you have this ability with the high sage energy that's coming out. This is the high priestess energy. You have this ability to see beyond that obstruction, but there's something in it that you are not liking about it. And you know what? I kind of feel like it's because you don't exactly know what it is. You haven't yet, because it is unknown and you don't know what to expect. It's kind of like there's a fear or even just resistance that's placed over top of it because you're not exactly sure what it is. It's kind of going back to, you only know the next step in front of you. It almost like it would be easier for you to get to understand this energy if you knew the way before you were to get there, but you don't yet have the way. And what is very interesting is that with this gift, the gift of the High Sage, you would be able to know the way to get there, because the High Sage sees the next couple steps down the way. So by having this obstruction, it's like you're limiting your own sight. And we're not talking about physical sight, we're talking about like seeing like psychically. So it's as if you are the one that is standing in your own way. And by integrating this energy, which I feel like is what this was talking about, you will be able to see in front of you. You know what I mean? You will be able to see the next couple of steps. So we're ending your reading off with another 8 of Cups. And I love this because hopefully you can see in this background, in the background, there is kind of like a channel. And it's got this, oh gosh, I really hope that you can see it. It's kind of got these like lines, like lines across it. It looks like a, kind of like the boundaries of like a matrix or something. Like it's got the lines and everything, and it looks like a force field almost. So when this, I'm trying to remember what reading this came up in, and I want to say it was a Scorpio reading a while back, and it was talking about, okay, so first of all, it's talking about when this energy, I love how all of these colors go together. When this energy is incorporated into you, it's interesting because they're shadow cards. So when this shadow of yours is incorporated into your being, you're going to be able to see this barrier. And that barrier being, this barrier is the wall of your comfort zone. You're going to see it. You're going to realize that you've been in your comfort zone, and that in order to get to that light, because that light is not here. That's what that Scorpio reading was talking about. It was talking about that there was a connection or something that was beyond like the matrix essentially. And so what this is talking about is that light, remember we were saying that light is not within these 4 walls. It's beyond that. So when you see the barrier, you're going to realize that it's not there, that it's beyond there. And in the Scorpio reading, it was talking about being able, like there's almost like a roundabout way to get around this barrier. I'm not sure exactly what that would be for you, but I have a feeling that when you see this barrier, you're gonna know intrinsically how to get beyond that, because this entire reading has to do with kind of like your inner landscape. So you're gonna know what's necessary in order to get out of this zone, this comfort zone that I'm tapping into. And what's interesting is that in the high priestess, in the high sage, there are these 2 pillars here, which are kind of talking about that veil or the barrier, that you're going to get close to it. The more that you incorporate this energy within your being, you're going to get even closer to approaching that wall. And going, I want to say, because the high sage, she can go, she is a traveler between worlds. So she can go beyond that veil if you will, it's talking about this, being able to being in here and then being able to be out here. There's something about this. You can do this. This is what this gift is. You have the ability to travel beyond that barrier. And so as you continue to incorporate this energy within you, it's like you're getting closer and closer and closer. It's almost like you see that there's 4 different barriers here. It's like you'll get to the one, you'll be in that space, and then it's like you're jumping to each one to get to what's on the outside, which is it's coming across as your light. Whatever that light is, your light. What a fascinating reading. I love this reading. All right, so Aquarius, thank you so much for joining. I shall see you next time. Bye.